Hello, welcome to the CRL Show. I'm Paul Arandale.
I'm Geoff Stevenson.
Yeah, another week in the can. A lot of footy played. Still a little bit of rain around up north, but everyone, I think, got through. Did you go out and see anything on the weekend? Or?
Yeah, I headed south, and I think hopefully they get a game at all down south with the rain coming. But I went down to Kiama Showground just to enjoy this beautiful views down that way. Watch them play Nowra Bomaderry. It was a good game. Yeah. Bit of a later game in the day, which I don't mind. You know, you can sort of rock down there and there's not any rush to get to the ground and watch a bit of Reggie's and then first grade. So it was great.
Oh, if we'd known you were down there, you could have jumped on the call with Jack and Jason.
Yeah, well, you know, I was watching it back because the bits that I missed and it was fantastic.
Yeah, one of the most picturesque grounds in rugby league.
Yeah.
I think if you did a top 10, which we might actually do in a few weeks' time, top 10, I reckon Group 7's probably got about 4 or 5.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's why I like going down that way. And you go down to Kiama when there's no game on and people are just sitting around the ground on a Saturday because it's just a really nice place to chill out. So it's pretty good when it's a footy ground's that good. You'll go there when there's no footy on.
Yeah. I was down in Moree Breen on Sunday, did the match of the round down there. It was a really good game. Well done to Weil. They got another game. Well, depending when you're watching this, it could be happening right now or it could be underwater. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
they're really on a move, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like some of those teams that have a bit of a run, you think, are they going to hang in there? But they're looking good for the end of the season.
Yeah, good club. Lovely people down there too at the Warangaroos and the Entrance Tigers.
Yeah.
Both Central Coast teams.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. Moving on to some magical moments. We've broken this up. We've got a good moment and a bad moment. So obviously with all the stuff that BarTV has, you want to be on the good moment, not so the bad moment. But so we thought we'd break it up. Here is the good moment. This is Michael Geiger's 100th, and there's no better way to celebrate your 100th with a special jersey, of course, but slamming it down in the corner.
He had a bit to do there, and he got the ball down. That was a cracker of a jersey. I think it's a great idea for your 100th game for the club to do that for him.
Yeah, well done to Michael, well done to Wade and Valley. You said a great idea with 100 on the back. That might catch on, I reckon.
Yeah, it might have made the difference with the try. You know, maybe not the jersey, but the 100th game.
Yeah.
Like he sort of pushing, might have been able to offload and stuff. So no, I'm going to do this on my 100th game. So that's fantastic, Michael.
Yeah. Now the bad moment. We found this one. A-grade Ipswich, North Tigers with the ball, and Lachlan Stewart here. Throws an intercept pass 5 metres out from your own try line.
Couldn't be an easier try you could score potentially there for that centre for the Jets, but, you know, what can you do? You have those days, don't you?
Yeah, poor bugger too. He's like, and down his horse, just why did I do that for? But
I hope no one's going to think when that happens now, will I be on the CRL show? Like, it's like, does this qualify for the bad moment of the week, you know?
The player who took the intercept, Brimsy Marshall, I thought that,
Brimsy.
What a great name, Brimsy.
Yeah, well, Brimsy, like, credit to him, accounts, but yeah. And he was, I don't know, I'm going to be who was it that threw
Lachlan Stewart.
Lachlan Stewart there. He was just out of eyesight or something. He was hiding behind a player. It was one of those real...
I thought you were going to say he was offside.
No. Yeah, that's what he'll be saying. Yeah. He's like totally offside stuff. But just he might have been, hiding, you lose a player there and suddenly they appear out of nowhere and it's all over.
Yep. So there are our moments from the weekend. If you've seen better or seen worse, let us know. We'd love to hear from contacts at bartv.com.au.
Yeah. And I mean, you could have a mate or a family member who's had a good moment. Imagine if your mate's had a bad moment. You're like, I'm going to let the CRL show know. Like, that's quite a stitch up to go like, okay, we saw you stuff that ball up. And by the way, we've passed it on to the CRL show. So that's great. Do it. They'll love it.
All right, let's get into some results over the weekend. We'll kick things off. Newcastle Rugby League, it was round 11. Maitland had a win 24-10 over Curry. Western Suburbs Rosellas 36-14 over Souths. Lakes 28-14 over Northern Hawks. I thought it might have been the week that the Hawks got their first win, but not to be. Then on Sunday, Wyong 26-6 over the entrance, and Central come from behind to defeat Macquarie 24-22.
Yeah, crack of a game there. Illawarra down to Illawarra round 9. The Collies kind of put Tapto back in their place after last week. They won 42 points to 10. De La Salle were back and they defeated West 26 points to 18. And cracker of the Battle of the Beaches, they were calling it, I think, Corrimal and Thurrool.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. The Battle of the Beaches. Corrimal defeated Thurrool 24 points to 22. Corrimal, doing all right.
They are. They're doing very good. Where else? So round 7, it's my turn. Round 11, Group 7, Kiama 34-18 over Nowra Bombardary. Gerringong 26-18 over Jamboree. Shell Harbour, big win, 52-18 over Barry Shoalhaven. And Milton Ulladulla 21-4 over Stingrays.
Beautiful. Then down to Canberra, round 11. Sun was shining down that way, as you saw in that clip. West Belconnor defeated Gungahlin 24 points to 14. 20-all draw against Woden Valley and Bell United in the end. Queanbeyan Roos defeated Goulburn City 40 points to 16. Yass went down to Tuggeranong 24 points to 16, and Queanbeyan Blues had the bye.
NRLW, round 10, Casino got up over Evans Head 26-22. Belamba went down to Ballina 18-30. Maris Brothers big winners 42-6 over Byron Bay. Mullumbimby over Northern United 38-22. Coogin 38-16 over Kyogle. 18-all between Tweed Coast Raiders and Lower Clarence Magpies. And Murwillumbah Colts 40-20 over Tweed Head Seagulls.
Yeah, Group 9, round 10. The Wagga Kangaroos were comfortable against Cootamundra, 56 points to 6. Albury, 44-26 against Chim. Was that the Challenge Cup game?
Yes, it was.
Yep. So
Albury's got it.
Albury's got it. Yeah, okay. Albury's got it.
They had 10.5 start, I believe.
Yeah, okay. I was just trying to work out how comfortable that was in the end, but it was pretty comfortable in the end. Tamora defeated Gundagai 22 points to 12. Young, 86-6 against Wagga Brothers. And Junee, they went down to South City 19-12.
Yep, Central Coast ground of the round went to Terrigal 18-12 in the Central Coast competition. Ron Massey Cup moving further into Sydney now.
Yep.
Round 13 it was. Only 2 games played. Ryde Eastwood 48-16 over Blacktown Workers, and Brothers Penrith defeated Canterbury 24-14.
Yeah, and a full set of Jersey Flegg games played. Round 17, Penrith comfortable against Canterbury, 42 points to 26. Silktails went down to Melbourne, 36 points to 14. 20-all draw against Newcastle and Canberra. Dragons 64-6 against Parramatta. But Sydney defeated the West Tigers 28-22. Manly went down to the Warriors 26 points to 22. And Cronulla 40 points to 14 against South.
Knock-on effect Cup round 17. Newcastle went down to Penrith 40-26. Penrith big winners 36-6 over Canterbury. Western Suburbs 28-14 over the Sydney Roosters. New Zealand Warriors 26-4 over Manly. Parramatta 36-22 over the Dragons, and Newtown 42-18 over Souths.
Yeah, up to Brisbane, round 14. Souths defeated Valleys 28 points to 16. Carina were comfortable against Logan 30 points to 10. And in a close one, Wynnum defeated Redcliffe 24 points to 22.
Round 11 of the Gold Coast saw Runaway Bay in the dying moments win 26-24 over Tugun. Currumbin 66-0 over Southport, and Burleigh 34-10 over Helensvale.
And up to Ipswich, round 8. Redback Plays defeated Fassifern 32 points to 10. The Ipswich Jets defeated North Eagles 44 points to 20. And West End defeated Brothers 22 points to 21.
Yep. Yeah, unusual scoreline.
Yeah, it's very close.
Sunshine Coast, round 11, Noosa 34-16 over Kawana. Coolum 38-18 over Caboolture. Caloundra went down to Maroochydore 22-20. And Stanley River 36-6 over Beerwah. Almost a bit of a local derby, those two.
Yeah, there are a few sort of derbies like that, beach games and battles and stuff like that over the course of the weekend, and plenty of footy and lots of points scored. I feel like it's one of those sort of everyone's finding their groove, and some high-scoring games.
All right, plenty of great tries amongst all those results. Here's 5 we thought are pretty damn good. All right, first up, Bailey Harlock of Morris Brothers Reserve Grade up there at Lismore. You see the kick, Byron Bay, and here is Bailey, the fullback. Bit of a swerve and a jink straight through the defenders. The chasers are coming. You think he's going to get caught. It's just too much pace.
Gets there. Untouched, pretty much.
And slams the ball down. A chest pump there, I didn't know.
Happy with that, yeah.
James Bradley, Maitland Pickers here. Curry on the attack, 10 out, a little kick, the catch there from Bradley. Wearing the number 11 on his back, James Bradley, but don't be fooled, he's one of the speedy men of the Newcastle Rugby League.
I saw 11 and thought, wow, that's a good move. But yeah, he's got a lot of pace.
Yeah, well done to James Bradley there, the Maitland Pickers. Dane Laurie, Penrith Panthers.
Got about 35 metres away from their own line. Now a lovely carry here from Phillips, who splits them, looking for support. Laurie arrives at speed. Oh, Laurie burns them up through the middle. That's beautiful play from the Panthers.
Halia for now, St George, Illawarra Dragons.
Now Glover drifting across, picking up Ilias. Then Sloan out to the Finau brothers linking up. It's Haley to Sione, then back to Haley. Oh, magical moment for the siblings out on the left edge for St George Illawarra.
Finally, Runaway Bay. We've got Luke Pereira de Vleg of the Runaway Bay Seagulls A grade. This is in the dying moments too.
They're going to go back to the right. They're going to go to their danger man. Oh, he's put it onto the boot. Is he going to? Oh, he's tipped it through. Harding will win this for sure. But it's the flag. He's going to get it. He's going to score. He's going to win the match for him. Oh, yeah. What a try. What a victory. Oh, and that was that right-hand side.
Yeah, so 5 pretty good tries there that we picked out. Which one was your favourite?
I did like the last one there, just like you say, because of the state of the game at the time. But who was is he a second rower, or was he wearing the wrong jersey? What was his name?
James Bradley, Maitland, yeah. He's normally a winger or a fullback, but I know they've had a few injuries and a few reshuffles there at Maitland, so I think they've just given him go in the back row.
Look, either way, whatever number he's back, he could move. Oh my God. Like when he stretched his legs out, I thought there is no hope, and the opposition must have thought, oh look, I'm going to try to chase him, but really.
Well, if he's not wearing the number 11, he's wearing the 2 or the 5. He's not in that position to take that catch.
That's right. But no, it's a great catch, great, absolutely stretched out there. It's been a great try.
Yeah, well done. If you've seen better, let us know through contacts at bartv.com.au. We'd love to see them and share them on our social pages.
Yeah.
All right, moving along, we may as well get into Around the Groups.
Rightio. Now there's a bit that's happened, some stuff that's been bubbling along that has finally occurred. The Mendooran Tigers had their first game in 40 years, finally on the weekend, and they celebrated with a win, which is fantastic. Like considering it's reserve grade for the Woodbridge Cup, so they're easing their way into it. But we've talked about, for those who weren't listening, previous episodes, this is a team that have been around forever. But I think they had a couple of beers at a reunion late last year, and it's grown from that. They had an awesome launch a few weeks ago, and they defeated the Binaway Bombshells by 14 points to 10 on the weekend. So
I'd just like to say too, I noticed that mainstream media outlet picked it up too.
I saw that as well.
I'm wondering, someone keeping an eye on things too, which is great. Like the more publicity, the better. So it's good.
I saw that as well and thought, all these CRL Show viewers who are also in the print media, look, it's fine. Take our ideas. We're not, we want to spread the word.
Yeah.
But they've been really good at putting it out there. They've got a great social media presence. So it's probably happened that way, evolved that way. I am so glad to hear that there's stuff happening in the Outback Rugby League, because every year it seems to be hard to get teams and numbers together. This is, for those who don't know Outback Rugby League, it's basically a couple of teams in Broken Hill, the Silver City Scorpions and I don't think I can pronounce it, Partu Warriors, Wilcannia and Menindee.
Yeah.
And this is Outback. This is like you are hours away from each other. I mean, Broken Hill and Menindee, I think, are about a couple of hours drive, and they're all close, but anywhere beyond that, it's desert kind of thing. So it's great that they keep things humming along there. What happened on the weekend was that they organised a bunch of juniors that a bus started in Broken Hill, and then it went to, I think, Wilcannia. I'd say the Menindee folk had to head up and catch the bus from there. And they went to Cobar and played Cobar Juniors. The credit goes to the Cobar Roosters, because they basically helped make all this happen.
Yeah.
And they fielded under 10s and 12s they being sort of an Outback Rugby League kind of combined team, and played against the Cobar Roosters. It's a 4.5-hour trip.
Yeah.
So you've got like 11 and 8-year-old, 9-year-olds on a 9-hour round trip. So first of all, bravo to that bus driver and all the coaches and people that had to kind of keep them settled, but they're probably used to it. But good on Cobar. They just thought, we'll help you guys play, because Cobar play in the Castlereagh League, so it's sort of crossing divides there. Anyway, and coming up next, on the 26th of July, so next month, I guess, the Outback Rugby League are having a gala day in Menindee. They're basically saying it's free rego, any team can join in. They're going to play a sevens comp for women and a nines comp for men. And it really is just lace your boots up. If you turn up in Menindee and you don't have a team, they'll find you a team. So I just really, this is really literally the edges of Country Rugby League, where there aren't a lot of people in these towns. I think Menindee's got 500 people in it, and there's not a lot of other towns around it. So good on them for getting that organised. And if you're in the area, or you're travelling through, or you live nearby, or you live down in Mildura and you want to drive 3 or 4 hours up there or whatever, get to Menindee on the 26th of July. I don't know how much the town will swell in that, but when you've only got, I think it's 400 or 500 people in the whole town. Get 100 or so people turn up for the gala. They just turns it into a party, so it'll be a great time.
Absolutely.
Arandale Tigers had an Old Boys Day. They celebrated. There's lots of Old Boys Days, so it's really hard to cover them all, but this one stood out for me. They celebrated the 1959 Premiership. So I thought, good on you guys for going that far back, because often it's, the last 10 or 20 years or so. And they were able to arrange, they had an old picture, you'll see on the screen there for those watching, of their team, 1959. So that's, those people will be 90 odd now if they're still around. Yeah. But the ball boy in that picture, they tracked him down, he must be still in town, and they got a photo with him being the ball boy in the current team. So I don't know whether he actually ran. I thought, I wish he just ran a ball out once, just to say, look, I did it. I did it for the 59 premiers, and I did it on Old Boys Day in 2025. So but his name's Peter Munsey. Good on Peter. I don't know, you've been that long, I don't know if he remembers much about the 1959 year, but I'd bet he's probably got...
He might remember more than the actual players. But.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I guess for him it was probably a pretty iconic part of his childhood, being the ball boy. I think they must have one ball boy, judging. I think these days there's usually a handful of them, but Arandale Tigers, so good on them. They played and won against Narwan Eels up there on the weekend, so I'd say it was an excellent Old Boys Day that had by all. We'll look at Clayton's Cup. We're now down in our undefeated list to 8 teams. So, and I think that was about the same last week, but there were some close calls on the weekend. So we've got the Port Sharks, the Griffith Tigers, Camden, Woolgoolga, Macleay Valley, Coolah, Waggaroos and Merimbula Pambula. But I think it was Camden won by 10 points on the weekend. Coolah won by 2 points. So that was one where they were almost knocked out of that undefeated status. And Merimbula Pambula played Eden, top of the table clash. They won by 4. So so we're really getting down. What I'm wondering is, this time last year, were there this many undefeated teams? It might have been 3 or 4.
Because we're pretty much midway through a lot of the competitions.
Yeah.
You'd always think that a lot of the top teams would have met 2 or 3 and had a slip up.
Exactly. So those ones that have gone close with top of the table clashes might feel a bit more, but you never know. A loss is a lot. It can happen in any which direction, losses, so you've got to be really careful. But anyway, that's where the state of play is. We will see. With some rain ahead of us, some teams might not even play this weekend, others might, so we'll see where that goes. But we're heading towards the final destination, which is the Clayton's Cup.
Yeah.
I spoke earlier in the year about the George Cook Shield team, the Goognong Goannas, who have been established out of nowhere. So this isn't a team coming back. This isn't a team that was on hiatus or playing in other grades. They were put together by a bunch of locals in Goognong, which is sort of like just out southeast of Canberra. Hour's drive out of Canberra, I think. They had their first win on the weekend.
Oh, nice. Well
done. 46 points to 6 against the UC Stars. And I'd say this is the stuff that I guess when you're setting up a team, think we just want to get on the field. We don't really want to see, like, if we win, that's great. We want to get on the fields. But they must have had a great time a day down there celebrating in Googong.
I do know where Goognong is now because we have done a game. BarTV has done a game down there, and it's pretty much like a new town.
Yeah.
Built up out of nowhere.
I had a look at the field. The field looks like it's pretty good facilities because, like you say, I think they've just started off with a couple of paddocks or something and they've created Googong, but somebody's found the money to make a really nice footy ground. So if you're ever down around that way, or if you're local, you're near Googong, get down to the local footy field. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I will remember it later when it's not really that important to remember. Apart from that, I'll leave with Queensland Cup have been running a country week for quite a while now, and I think the New South Wales Cup have caught on a bit when they had their fantasy round at Tamworth. But they've been playing it all over the shop. Since we've been on the CRL show, I've noticed some amazing places that they've played Queensland Cup games. So these are pretty high quality games, good players, and they're going out to the country areas of Queensland. They're heading this year to, I'm going to get these names right. I know some, I'll start with the easy ones.
Okay.
Emerald, I know how to say that. Goondiwindi, Charters Towers, Yarrabah, and Moranbah, that shouldn't be too hard. There's some new towns, because some of those have hosted country week games in the past. There's one called Augathella. I'm really sorry. I spent all afternoon practicing saying this, and then I arrive here, and Augathella has a population of 328 people.
All right.
So they're hosting Norths versus Wynnum. Quality game. It'll be actually some of these games, like you're talking about some really, really high quality players and teams and coaches and stuff. So they'll be there. And Gaindar, which is another town, has about 2,000 people in it, and Tweed versus the Falcons are playing there. Every country town, they run coaching clinics, as in to support coaches.
Yeah.
And refereeing courses as well. So it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Great idea. But yeah, they'll be, have a look on the Queensland Cup website and that kind of stuff. You'll find out exactly where they're playing.
I do remember a few years ago now, the big Coltrane, Dave Taylor.
Yeah.
I think he either just got dropped or whatever it was, and he was running out for one of the Q Cup teams and was playing in a small town, and the crowd just flocked.
Yeah.
Because Big Dave Taylor was playing. I can't remember the year of that, but I remember that was a pretty big deal at the time. Yeah,
and I like the idea if they're going to do it in New South Wales, to go to Menindee, and these are the kind of towns they're playing in Queensland. Like, they are small towns in the middle of nowhere. So
let's take New South Wales Magic Round to Broken Hill.
Yes, that's a plan. I love that idea. Yep. And yeah, you would get people coming from near and far. It'd be fantastic. But anyway, I reckon that'll be great for those little towns, and a great idea. And that is happening on the 26th and 27th of July, so it's not that far away. Anyway, I always think of these people who are grey nomads travelling around and stuff, like if you're going to find somewhere to park your camper, do it in one of these little towns on that weekend. You'll have a cracker of a weekend. And you're right, there are some players that get dropped down from that other comp and stuff. So I think like David Fafita was playing for maybe Tweed.
Yeah, okay.
So there'll be players like that may just hum in, and there'll be other ones you'll know. So that he may be the next one that gets absolutely swamped at the end of a game. But that is my around the groups.
No, good stuff. Yeah. Always keeping us up to date, Jeff, as usual.
Well, yeah, there's getting the business end of the season, so there's some, there's a lot going on out there when it comes to actually playing. But yeah, like I said, we've got a few more months, and it's going to get really serious.
Yeah. All right. We thought we'd bring a new segment on board. We still don't know what we're going to call it, whether it's BarTV Rewind or just
looking back.
Yeah, looking back. Who knows? But we thought with the Harvey Norman Women's Premiership kicking off this weekend, that's the New South Wales Cup equivalent of the women's competition. We thought we just stumbled upon this. I'll get this up for you as I just re-upload the computer and do things. This is the beauty.
Yeah.
So our first one for our rewind segment is Kezie Apps. Now, BarTV first come across Kezie back in 2016.
Yeah.
Playing for Helensburgh, and guess who's charging onto the footy here is Kezie Apps in 13, playing for the Helensburgh Tigers. Still lives down in Bega today, so she commute up to play these games on the weekend, and sometimes the games will be kicking off at 10 a.m. or then even 7:30 after the boys, so it's a great effort.
Yeah. She looked like a star in the making when you see some of this footage, like really...
Yeah.
Really, really hard to contain, especially on the line there.
And the running style, very Steve Menzies, former Manly Seagulls, great hair, just charging through the line.
Yeah, look at that. It's like it's got spiders on it. They're just straight through.
7 tests for Australia, 13 origins to date, and closing on 30 NRLW games. So well done to Kezie.
Yeah.
She's our first... rewind on BarTV. It's good to look into the archives and find a young Kezie Apps scoring tries where it all started for her, I guess.
And great effort getting all that together. It's also a credit to BarTV, and you think about in her career how much the landscape has changed, because back then she would have played for Helensburgh, but the actual NRLW was just a dream.
Yeah.
In 2016, so there was sort of BarTV was probably the only service covering women's rugby league at the time that comprehensively.
A lot of the back then too, the bosses won't mind me saying this too, is that we get a call from it might be the particular Illawarra comp, say, we've got another game at 7:30. Is your cameraman mind staying around and shooting? I'm like, we'd always try to fit them in as much as we could, and we still do that today. Try to fit them and accommodate. So we found some gold like that.
Yeah, well, it's just fantastic because, like in the men's comp over the years, you've always got footage of the young Kalen Ponga, the young whoever it is, because it's so comprehensively covered. But yeah, good on BarTV. Without you guys, we would not see a young Kezie Apps doing a thing back in 2016. Like it was a long time ago. So that's fantastic.
All right, move on, and we'll. Here's our big hits of the week, Jeff. There was quite a few big hits.
Yeah,
that happened
nice dry tracks for people to hit each other hard.
A few sore bodies this week, but here's our big hits of the week. Right, first up, we've got Presley Siamano Tigafua from the kick-off. We're at 4 Pines Park, Brookvale, Manly bringing it back.
That 20-metre run made it just, you knew it was going to happen. Bang.
A good shot there from Presley. We've got Adib Alushe, winner Manly Seagulls reserve grade. He just flew out of the line and blindsided the poor winger coming in for a hit up.
A big hit.
Harry Armstrong, Penrith Panthers.
Into enemy territory. 6 again here for the Dogs, and then Armstrong with a belter of a shot. Sent him reeling.
Next up, we got Jazz Flavel, De La Salle.
Dill Laurie. Oh, what a shot there. Well, he's upended on carry one. I think that was Flavel. Yes, it was.
Finally, got Bailey Bartley, Runaway Bay Seagulls.
Goes himself. Bus one. Offloads the rain. Torrens is met by a brick wall. Stop right there.
Some absolute pearls this week and the big hits. Well done to everyone involved. And thank you to the guys who got hit.
Yeah, thank you. Your services recognised. Adib Alushe?
Yeah, you probably got it closer than what I...
Yeah, I was... I thought it was... apparently the bunker said... This is me trying to go with a joke here. The bunker said that it wasn't illegal tackles, he was leading with the beard. If you look at... that beard came out and truly past his head, which is... anyway, I'll stop.
Watch out.
Spent all afternoon working that one out. Jesus Christ.
No,
I give up. That was really pathetic. I'm sorry, guys.
We can cut that out.
Anyway.
All right, so we'll get into some of the fixtures happening on BarTV this weekend. Not much happening north of the border. I think it's due to the Country Week that's happening up there. But we'll get to them shortly. Round 18 of the Knock-On Effect Cup. Penrith hosts Souths on Friday night, then a heap on Saturday. Canberra at home to West. Newcastle take on Canterbury. I believe that's a centre of excellence.
Yeah.
Newtown take on Norths at Henson Park. That will be an absolute beauty day. Manly at home to the Dragons. And then on Sunday, we've got the Roosters and Eels at Wentworth Park.
Fantastic. Now, Jersey Flegg round 18. Penrith are hosting Souths. The Warriors play the Silvertails. Is that got to be a derby? The Island Derby? The Pacific Derby?
Pacific Derby, I think.
Yeah,
it's
I
at
reckon.
10 a.m. local. Oh, sorry, our time.
Our time.
Yeah, first thing you do, wake up, have breakfast, and there's going to be footy on.
Love that. Absolutely love the early games. Newcastle playing Canterbury. Cronulla host Melbourne. Manly against Dragons. Sydney against Para. And Canberra hosting West Tigers.
Harvey Norman Premiership Round 1. It kicks off Thursday night at Shark Park with Cronulla taking on Parramatta. Then on Saturday, we've got a heap of games. Canterbury and Newcastle at Belmore. Mounties v St George at Albury Keach. Illawarra host West Tigers at Collies. And on Sunday, we have Central Coast taking on Penrith at Woy Woy. And Wentworthville do battle with Souths at Wentworthville.
Yeah, good to have it back. Ron Massey Cup round 14. We've got a couple of games. St Mary's are up against Wentworthville and Glebe play Mounties.
Yep, NRRL round 11, Northern United host Tweed, Ballina and Mullumbimby. We got Murwillumbah taking on Casino, Balamble travel to take on Coogin. That will be an absolute ripper. Byron Bay host Kyogle. And Saturday, Evans Head do battle with Mars Brothers. That is the feature match on BarTV. And wrapping up round 11, Lower Clarence host Tweed.
Now, about down south, so Illawarra, round 10. We've got Wests up against Dapto, Thuril versus Collies, which will be a good game, and Corrimal versus De La Salle. The way Corrimal playing will be a cracker of a game, and that's the match of the round.
Yeah.
Beauty.
Yep, Newcastle round 12. Cessnock at home to West. I believe it could be their old boys' day or ladies' day up there at Cessnock.
Yep.
Just down the road, Curry are at home to Souths. Maitland take on Northern Hawks at Maitland Sports Ground. Then we've got the entrance in Macquarie on Sunday. Central v Lakes on Sunday. Warren have the bye.
Canberra round 12 is on, of course, and I think a lot of the rain's going on the coast. So if some things are called off, you can hope or expect that Canberra will go good.
Yes.
And the match of the round, Tuggeranong Bushranger versus Woden Valley will be a good one. Queanbeyan Blues play Bell United. Yassa are up against the Roos, and Goulburn City play Gungahlin.
Yep, round 12, Group 7. Berry host Stingrays. Albion Park there at home to Milton Ulladulla, and we've got now Bomaderry taking on Jamboree, and a big clash at Ron Costello between Shell Harbour and Kiama.
Cracker after last weekend. Once again, if you haven't followed my hack, the rain's going to be on the coast. So round 9, Group 9, round 11 could be a great thing to watch on BarTV. The Kangaroos are playing Gundagai. Brothers are hosting Junee. Tumut play Cootamundra. Albury are up against Young in the Challenge Cup game. And Paul, you've written down, you already know the start. Fantastic. Albury have 10.5 start, which I think they're going to struggle to defend.
Yeah, okay.
Putting out there. And South City play Temora. No offence to Albury, the Thunder, but that's Young are playing well.
Might just double check them. So we've got Kangaroos, Brothers, and South City at home. That's the 3 Wagga teams playing at home. So it could be South City's home ground's Harris Park, but Brothers and Kangaroos use the main ground, which the sponsor's name just slips my mind at the moment, so I won't say anything because all I can remember is the old sponsor name, which I won't say.
Is this sponsor got a name of something that I may be buying on the way home after this to eat for dinner?
No, that was the old one.
All right.
But anyway, so it could be Junee, could be hosting Brothers, but Kangaroos are definitely at home to Gundagai. I think that's top of the table clash too, 1v2.
Yeah, that'll be great footy down that way. Sunshine Coast round 12. I have no idea about the weather up there, so sorry. But Nambour will be hosting Kawana. Stanley River play Caloundra. Caboolture and Biwa are playing against each other. And Maroochydore are hosting Noosa. My hack for Sunshine Coast is they're the great ones that play a bit later on a Saturday. So you can whack it on about 5 o'clock. There's usually a bit they might have already kicked off, or later in the evening. It's fantastic.
But just let the viewers know, if you're tuning in for the first time, we do all the lower grades as well. So they do kick off. You've got the 19s, 18s, some comps, reserve grade, third grade, even thirsty thirds, and the women's comp, and ladies league tag, of course. So I mean, really, it all kick off normally about 8 a.m. in the morning, and you're set till about midnight.
There's strategy involved, and maybe we should do a whole podcast about how to watch BarTV. But you can plonk yourself at one ground, which sometimes I'll do, and just watch reserves and then first grade and that kind of stuff, or you can flick, which I love to do. I go, these reserves are at an hour, and okay, Stanley Rivers got their, ladies tag on. So you can tell I spend a lot of time in the lounge watching BarTV. Fantastic.
All right, no Brisbane, Gold Coast or Ipswich this weekend on BarTV Sports, but as I said, we've got plenty of footy coming your way. If you can't get to the game, well then, tune into BarTV Sports.
Yeah, or do both. There are people that do both, and I did both a few weeks ago. You can watch the game, keep it in your ear if there's commentary, and flick back and give yourself a few replays if you need it. All
right, just one other thing, last thing. Looks like we've got through unscathed this week. Screaming it. Let's just have a look at this.
I can't talk. Everything I predict seems to go pear-shaped on this show, so...
We've lost the screen.
We've gone.
It's just like our Clayton's Cup.
It's been a blackout. Okay, we're good. No, it's all good.
Right, was that wasn't planned?
No, it wasn't. There's no cable. I did think later on maybe there was a cable I kicked, but I didn't plan to kick it. And I said that when I can make things go pear-shaped.
Yep.
Nothing happened this time, but I'm freaking out a little bit now.
That's why I kept it right towards the end. So if anything does happen, we're going to lose the last 30 seconds. So
I'm going to toy with the safety of people around me and pull up to the traffic lights to Savo and say, I don't make things go pear-shaped, and see if they lose power. But that was amazing comedic timing when I wasn't trying to be funny. So that's probably better than me trying to be funny like earlier.
Yeah. Excellent, Jeff. Well, that's another CRL show in the can. Hopefully we'll catch you next week on Paul Arandale.
I'm Geoff Stevenson.
We will see you next week.
Peace.